Welcome back everyone into episode 18. So last week you saw me pick up the heads from Headline MK and get those on the car. I couldn't talk those up at the time, but now I've gone through talking them all up correctly. I hope they're correct anyway. I initially talked them slightly higher than I should have done. I've used Newton meters instead of foot pounds, which is slightly wrong. But then instead of rotating them 290s, I've done a 90 and a 60. The final torque on the bolts is around 90 foot-pounds, which I believe is in the right ballpark. So I hope everything's going to be alright. Okay, so this week we're going to be finishing off those cam carriers, getting those built and on the car. And then I want to see what else we can get to. Lots of things are arriving now and being sort of restored in the background that you don't see. So I'm hoping we can get some more bits done. The important thing that arrived is those ever elusive little washers that go on the oil pump bolts, sent up by my friend and fellow 928 owner Sam. So thank you for those. I'm hoping that I can get those on, and if I can get that torqued correctly, then that's the whole front of the engine is basically waiting to be built. So it's just a function of time then. But let's crack on and see where we get up to this week.
I'm just looking at the gasket now. That looks to be okay. And then the debate about whether I should put sealant on, which I don't think I should. Ultimately, this is still quite accessible, even if it does leak while it's in the car. I can get to these. Yeah, I think it looks quite straightforward. I'm just going to lay the engine over a tiny little bit. It's not quite flat. I just want to get it at 90 degrees so the hydraulic valves don't fall out as I lift it up. But we'll try that now. So with the cam on the bench, I can rotate the cam and you can see some of the valves, I guess because there's no pressure on them, they aren't sliding back down, but you can see them go up and down as they run across the cam. That's just me rotating it. It's pretty cool. They're relatively loose in there. I think ordinarily they'd have a valve spring pushing them back or pushing them back in. It gives you an idea. Right, so I adjust this to TDC, which is just here somewhere there. That's TDC there, and then I believe I advance this 45 degrees, which would be about a marker about there, and I think that's where. Let's see, perhaps it's the other direction. Let's go back. So it's TDC, so 45 would be here. There's that marker and I want to there. Okay, right, they're all pushed back in. So that's the place where the cam is retreated, like all of them are pushed back in, which means I have less pressure to press against on the against the valves. I've got this long-nosed Allen key which you use to go down inside the cam carrier, is actually up the other way, into the heads. It's really nice and long, which means you get in there and you really get on those bolts you've got to put in. I don't have an adapter. My torque wrench that goes down to 20 Newton meters, which is what this needs to be at, is a 1/4 inch, and this is obviously a 1/2 inch. I've got an adapter 1/2 to 3/8. What I don't have is a 3/8 down to a 1/4. So that's coming tonight. So we'll be able to carry that on. But while I'm waiting, I'm going to just put this last cam carrier back together. I've done that one. That's all ready, but this one needs doing. It takes a little bit of time. I've got to get these valves in, the bushes, sorry, but get these bushes in, cleaned up and get them in, because there's still a little bit of gasket on the bottom of each of these gaskets, in fact. So I'll clean them up, get them in. It takes a little bit of working to actually get them to drop in neatly. And then these hydraulic valves, I'll give it a once over, just make sure there's no grit on them, and get them in. But yeah, I'll do that now, so we're moving forwards at least. check everything moves up and down. Quite happy, don't they? Nice. Okay, so I'll do the same thing. I'll take this to TDC, advance it 45 when we go to put that on. But okay, so let's get the this side on. The tool still hasn't arrived, but I think I don't like leaving it open, waiting for my cat to sit on it or something. So I'm going to put them on just finger tight, put a few of the bolts in. Let's get that right. Check the gasket looks okay. Yeah, it looks pretty good. That's fine like that. Okay, where did I put the tool? Here. So yeah, I just put a couple of bolts just to hold it on, and sort of put the rest in and torque it all up later on. This isn't worrying at all. Went in straight away, good. Okay, that's one in. I'm just terrified I'm going to drop the bolt or the washer in somehow. That isn't in anything, is it? No, I don't like this. I don't know what that bolt is. Let's try and take it back out. Got it out at least. It's got two washers on. Okay, I think the second washer was blocking it. Right, let's try again. Note to self, check number of washers. Okay, that's it. I'm looking down between the gap and I couldn't see the bolt come through last time, so I was a bit panicking. Okay, so that's just, at least the head can't fall off now. I may pop a couple more in just to be sure. It's really resting on those locating pins, so I'm not overly concerned it's going to drop off or anything. I'll pop a couple more in just to make sure. Another one at either corner. They're only hand tight, so there's no need to torque them up or anything. I'm putting them in dry as well. I'm not putting any, usually on most things I put this copper grease, anti-seize grease, but I read somewhere not to put it on engine things, so I'm not putting it on anything. Semi-hoping I never have to take it apart. Okay, right, that can't fall off, so that head is there. I'm now going to flip the engine around, put the gasket on. You saw me do the other cam carrier earlier. We'll get that in the same state, so at least it's all together. I'll be a lot happier when these are on the car and I can't, or on the engine, sorry, and I can't drop anything in there or anything like that. Right, so are you ready for the next one? Pop the gasket in, which is here. It should go this way round. We've got the worst camera angle this time, but you can't always have the best. Front front seat view. Okay, the gasket's on, so let's get a couple of bolts ready. Those 2 bolts with the tool. That should be the right place. Let's try and do it without adjusting the cam again. There we go. In with my leg. Try and get a couple of bolts in. I hate this sort of thing where you never know. Right, I'm in. Sort of feeling in the dark, I can't see what I'm doing. Does the washer drop off? Who knows? Washers are pretty tight actually. Right, get this one in and we're safe. That's why I wanted this really long Allen key, because there's no messing around. It's just, you know, the Allen key still sticks out 4 inches or something. It's quite, I know that it's connected. Right, and just quickly visually check the gasket was all happy. Looks good. I get 2 more bolts in down the bottom, and then I think we're just waiting then for this socket set adapter so I can get my little torque wrench on.
Talking up time, I'm going to set this to 10 Newton meters. We're aiming for 20, I believe. So I'm going to set it to 10 first. Work around from the centre out, and then come back round at 20. I can get it in. Okay, I'm going to wrap up this video here. Rebuilding the cams is quite a lot of work actually. Tidying them up, cleaning them up, probably took the best part of an hour. And actually assembling them back together was pretty finicky, but we got there in the end. They're on the engine now, they're all torqued up correctly. Starting to look fantastic, the engine. You forget just how big they are. It's a huge lump. With the heads and the cam carriers off, and all the other gubbins that go on the engine, it starts to look quite small and sort of manageable, but getting it back together has been quite shocking, just how big this thing is. I'm starting to fear for the engine stand if it can take that weight. So that's, you know, a really positive week. I thought I'd join you with my cat today, because he generally sits in the garage with me pretty much every time. He doesn't like being held, but he's quite happy to sit and lick and clean himself. Okay, so next week, or next video, won't be next week, I'm going to be putting those oil pump washers on with the correct O-rings, and rebuilding the front of the engine. In the background, I've been tidying up the water regulator, you know, that's called the bridge, the water regulator housing, I think is another name for it. I'm about to go and test the thermostat and see whether that's serviceable or if I need to replace it. It's not an expensive item, but why throw it away when I don't need to? But I'm hoping to get all of that front of the engine built up. It should be straightforward. There's not a massive amount to put on there that's tricky. The belt tension is already built, and then that leads naturally to getting the timing belt on, which is where the fun starts, because I have no idea what to do with that, and I've read some of the online sort of tutorials, and it's pretty lengthy. But hopefully, I mean, the water pump's done, so that's one of the big chunks of the work. So that should be really good. So thanks for watching as ever. Please subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.